All right. Welcome in to the recording, I should say, of the game between UT Dallas as well as Texas A&M. UT Dallas on the top left corner is the number 14 team presented by Okra, as well as number 19 for Texas A&M Maroon. So I'm getting the chance to spectate them, and though this is a recording because my internet provider is an absolute POS. So first map, so best 3 out of 5. First map is going to be Lijiang Tower. And I'm actually on the line with Spectrum right now, so I might be in and out of the game itself. So hopefully that's not gonna happen here momentarily. So I'll probably just talk to them in between as I get a ping for it right now. So actually let me go out for a sec. Sorry, one sec, guys. All right, let's see. All right, so first game up, looking like they have the Wrecking Ball, Wu Yang, and all of that too. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, I do like the thing on the left side. All right, or on the right side, I should say. Showing you top 3 heroes and all of that. On point they go. Looks like points unlocked, but for right now, you can see that Maroon's not taking a lot of space here. Oh, Atala's super low. Ooh, it's going to get good healers there. Freedom gets Hermosa. That's not good. Maroon's got a chance to at least take 2 already. And the Freya doing some work here. Freya's doing a lot of work. Good start. Good start for Maroon. Freya's going to be just so difficult to play against here. All right, so what they're doing right now is they're regrouping. Abdallah switches on over to Diva. Dory switches on over to Kiriko instead. And now they're just going to dive right in. Oh, almost gets Lucio off the map. Too much speed, though, that Lucio was on. Juma, though, getting Eric down. Let's see, Freedom again. Freedom has been on fire lately with this Freya. Might be getting another soon. Sunless Fiber gets another one, and this is looking like this is looking good, better and better for Maroon here. Oh, good shot on the Freya as well. They really have no way to enter. I mean, there's just too much mobility on this team. They're looking every which way. Sunless Fiber, there you go. Sunless Fiber's on. Oh, I appreciate the sentiment to go in order too, from DPS to tank to supports now. This is really good. Probably should have done this chat on my phone, but that's okay. I'll swap in and out here. Good start again, and then they get another one. They have 5 ultimates to use here, guys. They have 5 ults to use. Let's see what they do. So they're not going to use any of them, actually. They're winning the fight already. Oh, Freedom goes down, though. So Freedom goes down. And again, they're kind of just backed off right now. There's not really a whole lot they can do for this. I mean, they've got 5 check marks compared to, what, 2 because of the switches? So, oh, they get away just in the nick of time. And that's going to be the ultimates, but knocked away, so you're not really doing anything with it here either. They get the Kiriko, they get the Kitsune Rush off, but it's just going to be a little bit better, but they don't touch! They don't touch! Oh, no! Not the C9. Oh, unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right, sorry. I'm contacting Spectrum right now. All right, let's go night market time. Let's see what happens here. All right, so from the look of it to start, and they're just passing around. They're just poking out stuff right now. Phone's in a lot of trouble. Phone's by themselves. Okay, so the Reaper's by themselves. So now it's a 5v4 on to point. They have Abdallah switching on over to the Junker Queen, but this isn't going to do much because again, this is such a mobile team that, I mean, this is more mobile than anything else. They have no way to counter out the Wrecking Ball right now unless the Reaper can get to him all too quickly, but the healers are just way too fast. Now look at the Tracer all the way stuck back here. I mean, this Tracer is all the way back in the spawn or in their spawn, actually. Not even in their spawn. All right, so they're going to go in. They're going to try to contest. Go from the above view here, see what's happening. Oh, they do get Sunless Fiber on. This may be first percentages for UTDs. Oh, they get Abdallah super low, or they get Fern super low, I should say. Fern goes down, so UTD finally sees their first percentage points. Same time, too, you've got Ultimates coming up. Fern's going to have the mines soon. Phone's going to come up on a Death Blossom here as well if this fight goes well. Support line, though, Dory's going to have a Kitane Rush to play with here as long as they get something in. And let's see. So they're going to go up. They're going to slam down. So Fern gets a slam, but immediately leaves. Has the mines forward. Eric also has Pulse Bomb. Dory has Kitane Rush. There's the mines. On to point. Good spread, which forces out an ult here from Dory. And there's the bola shot from Freedom as well. Death Blossom into the back, but that's no one there. No one there from Phone, so that Death Blossom goes to waste. So Doi, Eric, and Phone all use an ultimate to Junbo and Fern's one. Nothing there. I mean, it's looking really, really good right now. I'm going to keep the camera on here for a second as I contact Spectrum again. All right, so they're going to slam down yet again here. Wu Yong ult comes out. Let's see where this dash is anything. No, it doesn't. There's the Wraith form to get away from it. Again, such a mobile team, and now Hermosa going down. I mean, UCD's trying to counter this, but they have no play to, and that's going to be a really good Rampage, but it only finds one. It's a good path for it because it gets to the point, but unfortunately, it only finds Sunless Fiber, but it might be enough, but tank's gone. Most of your damage is gone. You've only got a Tracer and a Lucio left to contest the point, but how much longer do you want to contest this? Because this is just going to be a stagger if you die now at this point, and you're already at 85%. Hermosa's going to get away here. Tracer, though, has to use the recall to blink out. Eric is there, still on point. The Doomfist, though, almost leaping off the map. Abdallah stays on. Find a sentry point in. Can't really find it. Gets booped off momentarily. And now you're going to have the Sound Barrier to get in. They do find a way in. Mines are going to come out yet again. Second mines for Fern in this round. And somebody's got to touch the point here. Freedom finds Phone. Overtime clock runs halfway. Abdallah has to get on. Tectonic Shock out and about. Doesn't really find anything, but Freedom playing their games. Freedom gets 3, looking for another one. That's going to clean house. There's nobody left. And it's a solid 2-0 for number 19 in Texas A&M. Very well done. Good start for them. All right, so Zarya's back in the pool, by the way. Okay, so the bans are the Kiriko and the Sojourn, or not Sojourn, Kiriko and Freya. Another thing about the bans as well, too, is that you are not allowed to ban two characters in the same role. So if one bans a DPS, you can only ban a tank or support, I think. If that's not the case, I could be completely wrong here. But anyways, all right, so here we go. Game 2. UT Dallas on the left, I should say in blue on defending side. Attacking side will be the team from Texas A&M. See how they're positioning, though, because it's a lot different. Usually they'd be a lot more mobile, especially now that, I mean, the Wrecking Ball isn't banned. That's the thing. But the Wrecking Ball, I guess, isn't their strat here. Abdallah's got Freedom down, so that's a good start. Try to stay in free mode as much as possible here, just that teams can look at positioning and all that if they watch back this, if they do at all. And the game is paused. Okay, so it's early enough to say that the pause is not that bad. Oh, Abdallah's mouse. Oh no, that's a wireless mouse that's dead. Oh, that hurts. Got to find the wire for it. Okay, so it looks like the wire's gonna have to be plugged in or something, or hopefully Abdallah has a second wireless mouse. Playing wired is not the play. Trust, playing wired is not the play. All right, here we go. Pause is over. Let's get back into it. One's gonna drop down from below. There is somebody in the back line. That sunless fiber all the way back there. Has to burrow out. Drill dash out as well. So gets out safe to regroup with the rest of the team. They're not able to get past this point. And look how much charge Abdallah has. I mean, Abdallah's probably got over 80 charge right now. Yeah, Abdallah has over 80 charge. Burn, I mean, they're not able to find their way in. They don't have the mobility like they do earlier, but even if they did, I mean, this team is just holding up at that point momentarily. But they finally find one in. So phone goes down, meaning that now it's a game of chicken now, because now it falls on the other foot here. Again, this venture gets to go so far into the back line and then either burrow or drill dash out, depending on the situation here. 89% though. 89% to an ultimate. Abdallah can turn this, but now they have all the amp matrix is just going to end it. That they needed to kill Abdallah in time, and now the rest of the team has no chance to even back in here. So they're going to get all 3 ticks for it. Well played. Oh, and Freedom getting Narc down is an interesting situation. All right, so good amp matrix to end that there for Texas A&M. So they get the point, get the payload for it. Somebody's going to have to move it here. And now it's a grab search, but that's got Fern only inside of it. That lamp lands a little bit short, but it's good enough. Eric has to pulse bomb. Pulse bomb does use up the immortality field, but in the meanwhile, oh, this is such a tough spot now. They regrouped in a good chunk of time. And they regrouped in a great position. This archway is so hard to try to get out of, unless somebody's on the flank, and that flank goes really, really well for them. I mean, they have Freedom on the Hanzo to see if they're spotting anybody or if they can get a one-shot here, but wow, I mean, I'm surprised here. I'm surprised UT Dallas is going to give up that space, actually, underneath the archway. I mean, probably because of all the pressure that was going to come with trying to hold that. So instead, they're going to fight on the streets. That's going to be tectonic shock, but this is from behind, guys. This is from all the way behind. Now you have the Soundbarrier that actually finds a way to hit Squid. Immortality field is gone. Death Blossom in the front now, along with the Orbital Ray, but that doesn't really matter here when the Grav Surge is there, and that's good enough. That is good enough for Maroon. Keep moving on. Aw, Squid's just playing with food. Squid's just going ahead and play with their food here. So Payload's going to move up a couple more turns here. Especially now in a great position here to contest. I mean, UTD is going to have themselves a really good recontest here. They put the pressure on. Fern's already having to use a bubble. You need to get out of dodge. Going to be the Reaper here. Phone's going to try to put the pressure on another app matrix, though, so quickly. That's 2 fights. And already Junbo's got it back up. But the good news is they put it so far back in the streets that they have enough places to put that back in another Graviton Surge. But the lab saves 2 of them, keeps them in the fight. A great immortality field by Junbo to keep them in that the entire time with no way to really kill that unless they pressure around the corner. They find a way to get a second point here. Maroon is marching. Yankees are playing really well right now. Got them on the ropes, and really, again, Zarya versus Zarya here. The only difference here are the DPSs, but it almost feels like that it really doesn't come down to it at the end of the day, except, well, Freedom getting that headshot probably makes my point null and mute here. At Matrix is up. Sunless Fiber is going to go ahead and, well, go right past it, but then burrows away so that corner doesn't matter. All they get out of this At Matrix is a little bit more space to breathe. Immortality field. They're going to amp it up. They're going to go ahead and see if they can speed on in, but nothing there either. It's Squid's going to follow so low. Good thing you got a sound barrier to work for it as well. Eric throws out the sound barrier, nothing there. Or throws a pulse bomb, nothing there. Phone's Death Blossom finds nothing. And now they've got all the pressure in the world here. And all they got to do is make sure Abdallah goes down. Final fight territory. I mean, this is insane right now. Maroon's got this in home stretch. Can anybody contest? Phone moves on over to match the Venture. Eric's going to go on over to the Genji. Everybody abandons the payload, though. Everybody has abandoned the payload. There's the Graviton Surge along with the Dragon Strike right in the middle of their spawn. This should spell doom, endgame, the end. And they go all three. 2.5 minutes. Insane from A&M. Texas A&M, man. I'm telling you. 19 may not be high enough. Okra's going to have a check on... Oh, I forgot to put the Okra logo on here. Man. I'll put it up on the next round, I promise. Man, getting all 3 points there is amazing. So good. And again, you gotta kind of wonder here, what does UT Dallas do? Because obviously, right now, I mean, I kind of feel like they just have no responses here. Texas A&M's comps are better right now in this current patch. I guess I shouldn't say current patch because patch notes really didn't do much. I'm not seeing a lot of Ana either, which I don't know. Ana's critical hits when I can hit them at least, and I can hit them. I love just hearing the dinks on the love just hearing the dink noise when Ana can get a headshot. All right, so it looks like... Oh, actually, I may get my wish. Hermosa moves on over to the Ana for now. This could very well be a bait for all I know. Makes that backline a lot more diveable, though. Phone on the Pharah. Let's see if this keeps. I'm not too sure if it will. It might. I mean, they don't have any hit scans either, so that's... the only hit scan is Junba, but Junba's been playing well. Oh, and the Hanzo arrow will tell you everything you need to know, so be careful. Junbo's going to be in that window, though, so care on that. You see Junbo in the window to the right over there. So no one's taking the side path here. Phone's going to go up. It's going to try to pressure out at least what the lower level is, and Sunless Fiber can't really reach this far, and not with that, anyways. Or the Excavator, but now they finally take over here. This might just be a game of who's got better attacks right now, and so far, good boop onto the backside, and that's going to force out Freedom, and Freedom dies, and now, oh my god, look at how fast they're going. They're angry. They're mad. They're pissed. No one lives to tell the tale of seeing another fight here on the point. They're pissed. They're all the way up to their spawn, mainly. All the way up to the streets it goes, and now Freedom forced to switch on over from the Venture into the cast to try to stop this flight. But Phone shuts Freedom down. Abdallah also gets Fern down. Man, shutting them down. Look at how far up they are. They're just pressuring them over and over. I mean, there's really just... Look at how far. Again, look at how far Abdallah's up. They've got no response at the moment. Freedom moves back on over to the Hanzo instead. So they figure the cast isn't going to work here, so maybe they just have to ignore the Pharah, but the Pharah is going to do a lot of damage here. Look how far. Again, I mean, that payload's all the way over there, and they've got it pushed up all the way here. Phone's just going to say hello to them. In the meanwhile... And again, this Pharah is going to really go uncontested unless Junbo's there. Amplification Matrix goes awry. That's a boop from Phone, and actually that Amp Matrix does basically nothing for you. And I think the boop caused a little bit of confusion for it, so that's kind of a free reign here, but Eric goes down thanks to a headshot for Freedom. If Freedom can't get anything in the air, might as well get something on the ground here. And now it's the... Oh, it's the barrage that gets everything. Abdallah uses the Graviton Search, but there's nobody there to follow up. So he's going to have to use the Amp Matrix to even get anything going here. So, oh my goodness, UT Dallas uses 3 ultimates to find 0 value out of it. Oh, what do you do here? Comet's reeling right now. Oh, you got to feel bad after that. Comets used 3 there. UTD used 3 to find no value, but maybe their value is without the ultimates anyways. Now you're going to worry about staying still, and, well, here comes the Genji trying to deflect, but he can't deflect the laser, unfortunately. Abdallah goes down there, and that Surge has 4 in it. 3, actually, the payload drags them out of the immortality field base, and Freedom's going to find 3 for it. Oh, that's unfortunate. So the payload, you can see all the dead bodies here. The payload dragged them. The Graviton Surge plays perfectly onto the payload. They didn't contest it. That pulls them out of the immortality field range. And that dragon just goes perfectly for them. Oh, I wonder if they know. I wonder if Doi's like, why didn't my why didn't my immortality field work? All right, 306 left. And you still get the time back, technically speaking. They just got to play perfect the rest of the way here. That doesn't help you, though. Sunless Fiber takes down Hermosa. App Matrix placed in a good position this time to go around the corner. Forces them back, and you can't really fight anyways because you don't have Hermosa, and you have a sound barrier that also died. Didn't die along with him as well, so that's not bad. Phones having an ult. Your main ults right now are going to be your Death Blossom, which finding it in a good position wouldn't be too bad. As long as you get the Lucio out as well. A lot of the mobility coming out of the Lucio right now. Blade's going to come out. Does this find anything? Sound barrier to counter that out. Sound barrier to counter that out at the same time. Blade finds a few swings. Nothing there. Freedom finds Phone, though, on the headshot. And now the Zarya's in a whole lot of trouble. So is the rest of the team. You just got 2 supports in the tank, which usually means death. Junba, bloodthirsty. All right. I see you. Where are you, Junba? I can't say I see you without moving there. I see you, Junba. I see you. All right, so now a little bit of a switch. Phone moves on over to the Venture instead. Now remember, this is best 3 out of 5, so UTD will get one more opportunity to play, or one more opportunity to get a win here, even if they lose this map. Backs out momentarily, trying to get Freedom, I guess, off the high ropes, but oh, the scatter. Oh, the scatter. Freedom's able to find Eric down. Yet again, another backup situation, but I don't think Maroon's going to let you escape that quickly. Immortality field, not even needed. Dala kills themselves. Oh, another pause, and it's a good thing that's at the end of the it's a good thing that's at the end of the fight too, and that didn't really matter. Eric was just respawning, so I'm sure that's going to be okay with Texas A&M Maroon, but man, solid team right now. All right, so in the middle of a pause here, we'll take a break. Not even a reason for the pause either. I think it's just a quick timeout on the action. It looks like they are ready to go again. That is second pause, by the way. I think there is a limit to the number of pauses for the game, but I can't remember off the top of my head or not. Again, this is all rulebook speculation. I don't remember all the full rules off the top of my head. Disclaimer for that. So if I say something about a rule, then don't take it with a grain of salt. I probably don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so regroup situation here. They've got a minute and 10. This is looking like Final Fight territory because the way they're progressing right now is they're trying to find an opening. They're going to come from the second floor here from the looks of it. That payload moved all the way back as well. That's enough time, by the way, that if they can test this further, they've got a chance at it. But now they've got the immortality field at Matrix up at the same time, and that's another Graviton Surge down the middle. And they've got the Dragon Strikes on it as well. No immortality field to work with either because Doryu's one just got capped there. Phone finds Freedom, but that's not going to be enough at all. And that was quick enough of a fight where you do have another fight to play with. But Eric still has the Death Blossom available. Junbo's got another App Matrix available too, and for majority of them, Junbo's App Matrix has made a big difference in terms of fights. Now they've got 4 up, trying to find themselves a little bit of stability here. Maybe a little bit of a burrow now. App Matrix is all the way back here, so unless I can charge this, this isn't going to look good for them. Phone's got to get out of dodge, but you don't have a burrow, you don't have a drill dash anymore, and Phone goes down. This is green lights all go. This is green light button go here for this team. Death Blossom, the backline, gets booped away, and it actually helps them out momentarily because that does get rid of the immortality field. They might be able to turn this. Fern is there. No sound barrier available for Squid. Now has it, and will use it right away. And Freedom's going to find 2. Immediately finds a 3rd, and all that's left is Zarya going into the subway tunnels and will be driven out of town. Kings Row heading on over to Maroon. They are up 2-0. How OP is Grab Dragon, though? Yeah, it's pretty pretty OP at the moment. Again, I don't know if they realize that there was a dragon strike that they had that they could have very well avoided if that they almost could have escaped death. Maybe I'm only saying maybe as a speculative word, but because they literally had the cart pull them. There was one grab that pulled them, and I want to tell them this so badly. Appreciate it. All right, so Symmetra strats out. Zarya is going to come out on, obviously. Freya is back in pull, I will remind us. But Phone's going to stick on the Symmetra here. They're going to go double laser. So they're going to keep this for the moment here. Now they're going to go all the way above. Try to contest the Genji, but the Genji's already up there. And Abdallah is super low. You have both healers near you, but that means the rest of the team is basically on their own in terms of heals for the moment. So they got to play very, very carefully. But Abdallah's head taken off. Eric also down as well. Freedom's DPS, by the way, is insane. I mean, if you've been watching the angles they've been taking, man, again, another good shot. Squid gets final blow for it, but man, Freedom's been on a tear right now. First point market starts off with Maroon. So what do they do here? I mean, what does UTD draw up here? They've had 2 games to think about what they can do here against this insane team, but unfortunately, the challenge here, the house call really, unfortunately, they changed their number because because Sunless Fiber on a Genji and Freedom on a Sojourn. First time we're going to see both of them on that here. Not really full dive situation either, so they're going to try to contest the point. Abdallah, again, falling oh so low, needs to be very, very careful, but unfortunately, careful isn't going to be good enough. Abdallah and Eric both go down, starting off the fight yet again. Zoe's going to find themselves in the grave as well, and this point is going to go to Texas A&M. I mean, just constantly good things from this Maroon team right now. They are looking solid. Gonna get any poke damage here. Last second calls. I mean, Junbo's already got the Kitsune Rush. I mean, and you can also look at the Lucio percentages as well. Squid's up to 89%. Hermosa's at 45. I mean, there's a huge gap in that right now. Maybe they can recover again. Tomorrow's semifinals, or it's a little bit early for these guys as well, so I will give them that reprieve for it. Now it's going to be a Sojourn that comes out. It's going to fire away with the overclock. Finds Hermosa on the way to escape. They only needed 2 ults to use the Kitsune Rush along with the overclock, and that's going to pretty much call it there. And point wasn't even unlocked. They fought that starting with, like, I think 20 or 25 seconds on the clock before that point unlocked, and they got it. And they got it before it even unlocked. Abdallah's going to move on over to the Doomfist now in hopes that, I mean, maybe this isn't hoping that maybe they can just go full speed at them. And they do have a full dive scenario right now. Not the Winston, but it is the Doomfist rush here. So let's see what happens. Punches in, gives them a little bit of charge, though. Sunless Fiber goes out, and that Summer doesn't catch Sunless Fiber in time. You do have a Graviton Surge to work with if you wish to, which grabs only 1 into Abdallah, but that's a fight turn, and that's going to be a fight win here. What a turn. And again, Fern's going to have to think about this now because now they have the Doomfist in play. Now you're really going to have to think about who you're putting your bubbles on at this point now because you have so many things to look at. Phone moves on over to the far as well, even after all of that. So again, no hit scan. I mean, really, technically, your hit scan is your Sojourn at this point because of that secondary shot. But now the Blade's in the back. They have no clue. And that Suzu's only going to protect you for so long, but it's booped away. Sunless Fiber is going to find no value out of this Blade. Has to back off. Good bubble momentarily. Abdallah is going to be very, very low, but that's not with the rest of the team. That's not where your healers are. So Abdallah finds their way down back to the respawn point. They're trying to find, I don't know who this is. This is Hermosa, I guess. Yeah. And the camera skills, as you can tell, are kind of lacking. Well, I am a caster, not a observer. Burn takes down Phone, though, so that's a really good one. That's by Zarya Laser as well, so too close to the ground. Icarus flies too close to the sun. Wings will melt away, 92%. They got to find a way to win this now. Abdallah does take down Fern, but it's not going to be enough. Is it? Oh, it might be. I mean, they used the Meteor Strike for it, too. Was it really necessary? You're going to ask yourself later, because all that was left there was a Kiriko at the end. And Abdallah so low. Got to find a way back to the healers, which they do in time. How's the rest of the team looking on their side for A&M? A&M finds themselves in a good position here. That's a good punch. And now Kids and Rushes are going to trade. This is a fight here on their side of the map on who's winning at the start. Abdallah finds freedom, so that's a big chunk of your damage down. But in return, Fern gets it. They push them all the way back, by the way, that they're not able to touch except for one person, but that means you're losing a Lucio in the fight. So Eric and Phone start to clean up house, and all you've got left is going to be this Lucio who has to run away for the rest of the team. That is a point for UT Dallas and a start of the march, if you will, maybe to make the comeback. Remember, last map score was 3-1. We're now tied at 1-1. Next map, or next point up, I should say, is Ruins. Let's see what they do here. Sound barrier is going to come up. Barrage out at the same time. Not a moving barrage either. I think they took that, may or may not have gotten taken out. But anyways, Phone takes out 2. But Fern and Jumbo, they could turn this theoretically. I mean, they have one of every role. Abdallah goes down. Yeah, this is super doable now. Your tank is gone. The only 2 left you've got are 2 supports and a DPS. So unless you can get everybody back quickly here, and looks like Eric needs to find a way out. Eric does, so they're going to fight this point on with the new Ruins, by the way, with the new pond in the middle. And the Graviton Surge finds 3, and they're all on the outside. This is all systems go here. No sound barrier to protect you at all. And what a call for the Graviton Surge. That's going to secure the first spot for them on the Ruins. Good call from Fern. They didn't cost you anything either. Freedom moves on over to the Freya in the meanwhile, unless I didn't notice that from before. Sound barrier available, blade available, so no blade. Grav Surge available. Fern's been pretty much money with these Grav Surges the entire series. Is somebody going to start to contest it here? I believe that's going to be Phone on there. So now it's going to be a blade out, gets poofed away momentarily, and now Hermosa's going to get out of dodge, but not for long enough. Squid gets there. Eric gets 1 in return, so that's mirror battle for mirror battle, essentially. On the kill feed. Doomfist's going to go in here. Abdallah's got to find a way out. Soundberry forced out at the same time, too. But it's not going to be enough because now Ferns ran out of bubbles, out of shields. Hermosa finds a way to take down Squid, and it's a fight win for UT Dallas. They needed that badly, but they used 2 ultimates for it to no avail. Well, I shouldn't say to no avail. They used 2 ults for it. But so did, Maroon. So if anything, that's a fight win for them. They find freedom, which is actually big. Hermosa going down isn't that terrible because he will have the Lucio speed boost. You won't have that coming for for Maroon, I should say. So Hermosa, if you know your wall rides, you're basically getting here very, very quickly. There's a little, I did not know that there was an upper part of the staircase now to give them a little bit more fighting room, but hey, I like the point change. I like that change as well. That stairway kind of felt a little bit too narrow. Hermosa takes down Sunless Fiber. Bola shot is out. That's in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the point, but finds nobody to hit for it. And now Eric taking down Fern. UTD's gotten a little bit of a hot streak going on here. They find Junba. They are so scattered all over the place. And mind you, they didn't need an ultimate to win that fight. And I think if you're Maroon, you're okay with giving this up. Mind you, because you don't want to stagger anybody. But more importantly, you can't even get there. So you got to hope where the next point is. And the next point is going to go all the way there. It's going to go all the way to Temple. That's the next one up. Eric is in so much trouble, by the way. Needs to find a way out. Gets a protection Suzu there. Now it's going to be the Kitsune Rush. Again, this is 23 seconds of everybody started the fight. Nothing there anyways. Phone is going to find 2 for this Tracer. Finds a 3rd on the recall. And the dive situation, no responses from Texas A&M. Again, that fight started with 23 seconds. It didn't even last that long. It ended at about 9. So it's a 14-second gap for that fight. It ended so quickly. And now Freedom forced to switch off of the Freya to the Cassidy to see if maybe they can stop this dive potential a little bit. But really, unless that flashbang hits 2, you're going to really find much out of it unless... that 1 is super, super important. Abdallah, by the way, super low, has to meteor strike up. You do heal up there as long as it is, but Abdallah's not going to spend very long up there in the skies. Sound barrier finds out, and now that is a Graviton Surge after the sound barrier with 3 inside of it. It's not going to last that much longer, but they still find 2 out of it. In the meanwhile, Fern does take down Hermosa, but now it's the blade that comes out from Sunless Fiber. They do use it for the cost of maybe a fight win, but Abdallah is still here. They don't have any more healers anyway. Phone is going to try to stall the point as long as possible, but it doesn't really matter when it was already choked up to be an A&M takeover. All right, so now they find themselves in a better position. 15%, 20%, I should say now. Now they're going to try to play around, I guess, backside here of the temple. Junba finds Phone, though. That's not good. If you're UT Dallas, that means one of your big pieces of the dive was lost, and Phone was popping off towards the first part of this point. But now they're going to have to run away here. Abdallah keeps diving in. Looking to see if there's any buildup on charge or any buildup on the ultimates. Luckily enough, they're playing careful enough where that stagger doesn't really matter for them. They're able to regroup in time. Now they find their way in a sticky situation because 74%, you do have 2 ultimates. How much do you want to use here? Because if you lose this fight, you're playing to the next point with almost nothing. So he's going to go ahead and use the Keaton rush here. That's going to be the pulse bomb. That's a punch that stops the Deadeye. Huge punch by Abdallah to find 4, but is it going to be enough? Now it's the Blade that comes out from Eric. Let's see what this finds. Blade is going to try to find the Genji in the back, but it's deflecting. Abdallah punches out onto Junba, and UTD may find their first win here. And now it's the Meteor Strike. All that's left is Sunless Fiber, and they're going to take over this point. They find the win, not the map just yet, but they invest 4 ultimates for it. The only ultimate to be played here now for Texas A&M is going to be that Keaton rush. Burns still sticking to their guns, though. They still have the Zarya in play. Could build up to another Graviton Surge, which could be huge. But a punch out keeps them at bay momentarily. 85%. Somebody's got to touch this. Clock does move up. It's got to force a touch some way, somehow. Nobody's got an ultimate on the side of UT Dallas momentarily, unless it's going to be a Sound Barrier that's got to build up super, super quickly. Overtime clock hits. Abdallah's going to get out, though. Abdallah is super, super, super low. Maybe gets booped off the map, but nothing. There actually does get booped off the map. That punch doesn't help you. They might turn this on its head, though. They're trying to get in, but again, no ultimates. Hermosa does not have anything to play with. Keaton Rush gets them in, and Keaton Rush is going to score them the second point. We're playing all 5. We're headed to Gardens. Holy cow. Holy moly. Fern keeping hold of that Grav Search too is a big ultimate. We'll follow them all the way to the Gardens, but oh my goodness. What a map if this is the last one. Oh, they're going to play upper here. They're going to start to play a little bit upper. All right, so now they find themselves in a situation where it is do or die here. Sound Barrier gets 2 of them. Doya and Hermosa are both in that Grav Search, but the Sound Barrier saves them enough where Hermosa and Eric are able to find picks. In the meanwhile, there are 2 people that are super low, one of them being the Kitiko, one of them being the Zarya. Squid also goes down. UTD starts off well, and they only needed the Sound Barrier for it. In turn, though, Fern trades on over to the, or not trades, but trades the Graviton Surge. So that's a good trade if you're UT Dallas to win that out. Fern now moving on over to the Winston instead. But again, nothing to counter out Phone on the far right now, especially now you don't have the Soldier, you don't have the Fray to look at. So this could be win or lose by Phone here. Punching out. Still got the dive on. Freedom, though, is able to dive right onto Dory, so that's good news for you to start off at the very least. Now they're forced all the way back here into this little pond area, into this little grassy area. Phone, though, gets 2 for it. Phone gets a 3rd. You are raining from above. Can you find more picks for it, though? You have no more healers, and Phone's just going to opt to dive off of the map. That is 3 kills, though, but Phone is able to build up to basically what is a barrage. Eric will have a blade for it. Squid reliance here for that Sound Barrier. Freedom has Pulse Bomb, too, but we haven't seen the Pulse Bombs get a lot for it, and there is a pause here. Oh, and this is in the middle of the fight, too. I mean, Fern and Abdallah are looking right at each other, though not a full-on team fight. All right, so Texas A&M good with it. They're ready. We play again. Again, Abdallah. Look where Abdallah is right now. Abdallah has to get out. Abdallah knows it. Now it's going to dive all the way into the back line. That forces out the Suzu. So, I mean, good news if you're UT Dallas. You don't have to worry about a Suzu anymore. But uses a barrage right on top of a shield. That's going to give them enough time to get the kill. Meteor Strike Blade at the same time, too. I mean, this is UT Dallas being desperate here, but they may not get anything out of it. Keaton rushes out. Sound Barrier comes out to that expires. So they use 3 ultimates to no avail. And so now it's Texas A&M on the front foot here. They do not have any ultimates, though. Dory does. Dory will have the Keaton rush. Phone moves on over. Barrage goes for nothing. So now they're going to go back into the Tracer. 90%. Somebody's got to find a touch. I think the only ones right now that can do it are either Tracer or the Lucio to get onto the point. Tracer's there. Tracer's able to touch. Force the overtime clock. Has to recall forward, though, and that cooldown is on. There's a Tracer all the way into the back line. Freedom is in the back, but Doyu finds Junba at the same time. They get 1 for 1, but it's a 1 for 2 now, and this is looking worse and worse here. Blade comes out from Sunless Fiber, and all you've got left are Abdallah and Phone. Phone does not have a recall. Abdallah needs to find a way to work a miracle, but with no ultimate, no rampage, no nothing here. Abdallah's got to live for their life, and it's not going to happen. That is a 3-2, up 2-1 in the map to start for UT Dallas, and A&M is able to turn it on their heads, and that is a 3-0 for Texas A&M. GG's all around. My goodness. What a final map, though. Oh, and of course, there it is. There's the Joker one. Well, not the Joker, the Persona. Something like that. Man, what a game, though. What a game. Even if it was a 3-0, there were close moments there. There were very, very close moments. I enjoyed the game, guys. That was very, very well done.